myth that a lot of mothers have is that breastfeeding might ruin their beauty or their appearance or their bodily structure. And what I have to say is that breastfeeding actually improves your physical health in a lot of ways, because breastfeeding leads to production of oxytocin in the body, and oxytocin is the happy hormone or the love hormone, and it improves your skin, your glow, your overall health. There's a huge notion that breastfeeding leads to the sagging of breasts, which I'd like to oppose strictly, because sagging of breasts happen due to pregnancy, due to the hormone relaxin that gets secreted during pregnancy, and not because of breastfeeding. Something else I want to share with you is the story of a little boy who was around 10 years old, and when I went to counsel his mother, who just had a little baby, he was the one who told the mother to place the baby on her side and not in the front, and this was a case of cesarean. So the boy naturally understood that the mother had stitches in the front and couldn't keep the baby in the front, and he told her to keep the baby on the side, which a lot of adults wouldn't do. What I understood that day was breastfeeding is very natural, and be it a boy or a girl child, it's something that you need to use your instincts to do. It's very difficult to teach. You actually learn by observing. Normalizing breastfeeding is important for that. A lot of parents asking me when to give formula. They somehow believe formula is a superior food when you compare to breast milk. If you compare the ingredients list, there are more than 500 ingredients that are in breast milk which is not there in formula. And formula fed babies do sleep for a longer duration because formula is full of artificial ingredients, and not because it is something extra that breast milk doesn't have. To my clients, what I say is giving formula is like not getting a repair done for your car and getting a new car. We wouldn't do that, right? We would probably find out what's wrong with our car. So if there's something wrong with your breastfeeding journey, there are people like me, breastfeeding consultants, who can really help you out. Please reach out to us. I would really want to emphasize this Facebook group called Breastfeeding Support for Indian Mothers, where thousands of mothers are getting the help they deserve.
I'm still feeding my 2.5-year-old son. So yes, it might be surprising for you, but there are a lot of people in this city who are feeding their 2.5-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old. In fact, I know mothers who feed their children for more than 5 years. So the first question that I get asked is, oh, doesn't he ask you for feeds in public? What if you're traveling? What will the driver think? What will the people traveling in the bus think? And what will the people in the cinema theater think, and all those things? And I can assure you that I have traveled exclusively these so many years, and I've never faced any glitches. Okay, maybe one, because when I go looking for a closed space to feed, I usually never find them because they're always closed, or somebody else is sitting inside them. A mother's room is never used by mothers. So that's one thing that I've faced. So the next thing that I came across was my support group, wherein I got a lot of confidence from fellow mothers who normalized the breastfeeding. So the thing that I was struggling with was my shyness and my inhibitions. But once I realized a lot of mothers are feeding in public without any hesitation, I just went ahead and it has been beautiful from then. The society has been sexualizing breast for a really long time. So I realized all those when I got into these peer support groups, and I realized the stigma behind the breast was all manufactured by this society, and it has nothing to do with the babies, because the babies just need breast, and breast is just food for them. So once that mental block was cleared for me, my breastfeeding journey has been beautiful, and it has empowered me, in fact. And the second question that I get asked is, oh, he's 2 years and you haven't started cow's milk for him yet. So that's a big question that I get asked a lot of times. Haven't you started cow's milk for him, and haven't you given him any other form of formula or anything else? So I think human beings are the only species that take the milk of another species. So I totally believe that my body knows to make the perfect food for my child, which is tailor-made. So I just continue giving breast milk. So the point that I get asked is, as soon as they get up, and if he refuses solids, they tell me give him a glass of cow's milk. So I would rather take him and feed him. Somehow breastfeeding, breast milk is seen inferior to cow's milk, which is totally a myth, and breast milk is the best, and it has always been empowering me for a really long time, and I would suggest all of you to continue feeding your children as long as the mother and the child chooses to.
I am a twin mother who has done exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months and then continuing at 2 years now. See, once a mother delivers a baby, the first thing the society tells when it's crying out of hunger, the first thing that you hear from a baby once born is that cry. It needs something to be fed. That first mother's milk, once it takes that feed, the society keeps on telling the mother, your milk is not sufficient, that's why the baby is crying. That's the first biggest myth that society has. The mother is incapable of doing what she is supposed to do. When that same mother is able to produce a baby, it is definitely understood that she has been given the capability to feed the baby. Being a twin mother myself, when my body could produce 2 babies, definitely I am capable of feeding both the babies. That's the capability with I am being created. Every mother is capable of doing breastfeeding, not only for the first 6 months but also till the age it requires that nourishment from the mother. And people have this biggest myth in their mind that because you're breastfeeding, all the calcium and iron supplement that your body has drained out because of feeding, so you should not continue feeding more than a year or things like that. Definitely your body is not going to lose anything because of breastfeeding. It's going to be beneficial for both the mother and the child. You all know that there are so many benefits out of breastfeeding and the breast milk, but when it comes to the benefits of breastfeeding to the mother, first and foremost thing is that you have a lesser risk of getting breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and also osteoporosis. As you all have known, osteoporosis is because of deficiency in calcium. Since you're producing milk, definitely the calcium levels will reduce, but then once you stop feeding, the body will replenish with more than the required amount of calcium, so that you have a very low risk of getting osteoporosis. And people think that after delivery, how to reduce your post-pregnancy weight and things like that. Breastfeeding is the best method to lose all your weight. Almost like 10 to 12 kgs I've lost all my pre-pregnancy weight because of breastfeeding. I can assuredly tell that you're not going to lose anything in terms of your beauty. You're actually gaining a lot.
To get instant news updates, like the Covai Post page. Click on See First to view the news first. Also, in YouTube, subscribe to Covai Post channel to watch interesting news and videos.